all very, very hungry. I'm so excited to be doing this panel today. I've been teaching around the region regarding GEO and AI and social media, and I talk to a lot of agents, and a lot of the agents I speak to, I hear a lot of the same things, right? I hear that agents know they should be posting on social media, but they don't know what to post, or I post something and nothing's happening. And if anybody sort of feels that way in the room, you're not alone. I promise you that. Agents feel like they're stuck in some sort of cycle where they know that social media matters and they know that they should be showing up, but it either feels overwhelming to them or inconsistent, or honestly they're not even sure if it's worth their time. Throw AI into the mix and yet so whole is where things get really interesting. But really, it's understanding that what actually works in social media right now, that how AI can support you instead of overwhelm you, and most importantly, how do you turn your content into real conversations and real business, which is why I'm very excited to have my panel here today, because we have some amazing people here today who are actually doing this at a high level. They are not only talking about social media, but out there using it at a very high level, and AI at a high level as well, to use it in practical ways in your business. So I'm going to turn it over to them. So if you would each give us sort of an introduction and a quick snapshot of your business and what channels you are using.
I'm Samantha Catterall. I'm from Keller, West Lakes and Gardens. I service the Grafton County, Kawas County, and Vermont. So I have a big region, as my office would put it, like the lower part of Canada. And I get all of my business from social media, but when I say that as in like it's my sphere. I don't really acquire too many new followers here and there. People obviously talk about it, but I do about 30 to 40 transactions.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that your sphere is also on social media, so it's fantastic. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. Dan Gouveia, my daughter Courtney and I run the Gouveia Real Estate team out of Easton office. We're licensed in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. I've personally been in business for over 22 years, and we service mostly Bristol and Plymouth County and Rhode Island as well.
My name is Malachi Winslow. I am a little bit more nervous than I expected, especially for someone who's on camera a lot. So I did about 22 million in volume last year. I can directly attribute over half of that to my social media channels. Greater Portland.
Excellent.
My name's Jeff St. Germain, and I'm with Keller Williams Coastal in Rhode Island. I have been in the business for about 16 years. Although I am the fossil on stage, I am a newbie to social media with intention, and I have a very fast-growing YouTube channel.
Why YouTube, yeah?
Why YouTube? Honestly, I was not pretty enough for OnlyFans.
Not enough ankle shots. Right?
No,
Yes.
there's not enough self-focus to cover me.
So actually you bring up a great point too, because not about OnlyFans, but the fact that you are a different generation than some of the people here. And I think that is something that you all are very different when you started, but I'd love to know when social media began to shift from something you're trying to something that you're really going to implement in your business.
So I started right off the bat. Obviously, I'm a younger generation, and I grew up with all of this. And so I just, from the moment I got licensed, was actively posting on social media, whether it be stories about my day. I also had an infant at the time, so that was fun. And it's been the thing.
Awesome. Dan?
I'd say 2024 was a turning point for me for social media. I mean, I was doing it at a basic level, but that was like the turning point once I got a business coach that made me go over like realign my pillars of my business, and then I hired a social media team to help with edits and posting, and I just concentrated on content, which really helped with the leverage part of it, because I wasn't staying consistent enough about that.
Yeah.
That helped, you know. So yeah, I say 2024 is really when we really made a bigger impact on online, and I spent many years knocking on doors was and called, and like a lot of the agents do, that talked about here on the stage, and there's a lot of great ways of obviously bringing business in, and it all works as long as you're consistent with it. I decided to go the social media route because I wanted to attract more business and have more inbound leads. So.
Yes, and consistency is the big word for social media, absolutely.
So for me, I started when I was 19. So, you're going up against a lot of really great agents. For me, I wanted to have some kind of a value proposition. Why would someone choose a 19-year-old over somebody who sold 100 houses in the last year? For me, that was social media and my ability to get properties in front of more people. So I got really serious about it when I hired a professional videographer for my listings, but I have been pretty all in on social since I started.
So, I've been on social media since it was invented. I started off a long time ago doing different platforms, and was really active with Facebook through the early part of my career. I really started focusing on the YouTube in December of last year, at the urging of my business coach as well. For 2 years, my business coach was saying, you need to get on YouTube, you need to get on YouTube, it's the next big platform. I just couldn't do it, but December things changed.
It's not even the next big platform, it is the big platform.
Correct.
100%. So walk us through how you decide what to post. This is one of the big questions that we hear a lot, content, what kind of content? So is there a system or is there something more intuitive for you?
I would say for me, usually I just take the questions that are being asked of me when I go to appointments or phone calls. The other thing, I do a lot of more like real life stuff. So I'm doing like days in the lives. I'm also sharing things that I feel are important. I'm very active in my community. I'm the vice president and treasurer for my daughter's PTA. I also am on the Parks and Rec for the area. So being able to kind of like showcase that component. But yeah.
So with the business coach, we nailed it down to 4 different pillars when it comes from marketing on social media, which was lifestyle, real estate, community, and education. So 25% of posting in those 4 categories is generally what I focus on. And I take a look and see what people are, liking and commenting on too. I want to see that feedback and give them more what they want, not what I think they want. I think a lot of us post a lot of things that we think is good and what we like, but not necessarily the public is responding to it. So I really key on and see what gets the most likes. And
so you're looking at analytics, so it brings in attention. Yeah,
absolutely.
Excellent.
For me, I started doing a lot of like trending type videos, which got a lot of views, a lot of engagement. But what I found was that they weren't really bringing me quality buyers or leads. So what I kind of swapped over to is location, topics about location, and then advice. And even though the advice videos don't always get huge views, those are the ones that convert at the highest rate for me.
Love that. Yeah.
I think for me, my material comes from a lot of years in the business and knowing what the questions are, but also I'm utilizing the tools that are out there. So I'm going to Google, I'm going to AI, and I'm asking what are the top questions that buyers are asking in my area? What are the searches that are most requested, and trying to utilize that information to create content. And I have some passions. I'm a baby boomer, so I have a feeling that market may take off at some point, and I'm creating content that is strictly focused to people who are in their 60s and 70s looking to downsize or make a change. So kind of twofold.
Excellent. And so when you are looking at your ratios, how much of your content is sort of personal based, how much is educational? Where are you at with those things?
You want to start in this end?
Sure.
Sure. Right now, most of my material, my content is educational and yes, educational for people coming into Rhode Island, pros and cons of certain towns, things like that. I haven't brought a lot. I have one video that is more personal, my dog video. It goes on my channel, you know what that is. But it's definitely geared towards people looking for information.
Yes, and you get in front of the camera. Are you getting in front of the camera?
I get in front of the camera.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a talking head. My videos are talking head type videos, which is me in front of a camera with a B-roll in the background. I am in the process of creating 2 new series. One called Porch Perspectives, which is me on my front porch with a vendor, an inspector, or someone like that, which will be interview style. And then Man About Town, so going out into the field, going out into neighborhoods and kind of featuring certain neighborhoods, answering questions in that respect.
Excellent, yes.
I would say I split mine between stories and feed. So my stories are overwhelmingly personal, and my feed is overwhelmingly professional. That's what I've found to have a really good success rate.
Yeah. Okay, so your feed is getting the most rate for you?
So my feed is where I, like I say, put my professional content.
Yeah.
So new listings, informative information, things like that.
Miami Vice.
Exactly. That was a video I just did that had 60,000 views. It went semi-viral for the area. So that's what it's in there.
Excellent. And Dan, I noticed you guys get in front of the camera a lot, pretty much so.
Yeah, I mean, we vary based on what we're posting. A lot of times it's just kind of the mood I'm in or what I feel like should be shared at that moment. But like I said, 25% of the 4 different categories between education and lifestyle, a lot of community.
I just saw one about the bridge.
Yeah, a lot of projects in the area that are being done, new bridges and things like that. And there's a lot of interaction on that. You know, people remembering different things throughout the town as far as when something is being rebuilt. You know, it's just the memories of all the things that whether it's a building being torn down or whatnot. So it emotionally it brings a lot of content and a lot of interaction, I should say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I know you're in front of the camera quite a bit.
Yes, so I do a good mix. I'd say 50-50. I will say this, and if I don't tell the story, Nate may have my head. But I posted a video that I just never even thought anything of it. And it was a video, it is a video of my son and my fiance standing in front of Lake Winnipesaukee fishing. And my son was copying exactly what my fiance was doing at the time. And so he had put his foot up on the rock. And all it said on top of the video was, remember, they're always watching. That video went viral. I have 2.5 million views on it.
Wow.
It actually got picked up by Field and Stream. They reshared the whole video. And I want to say that across platforms, which I know we'll get to, that was posted on Instagram. I posted the same video on TikTok and I got 1,000 views. So it just goes to show where the audience is going to go. The algorithm, you literally have no idea what's going to go viral and what is not.
So, sort of across the different platforms, how are you staying consistent without burning out of ideas?
Well, I get phone calls every day.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just taking that. I will say I don't have a plan. I just go at it. You can't think about it sometimes. I mean, people get into the analytics and they look at all of the things. And sometimes you just have to be genuine. You just have to show up. It doesn't matter what you look like. Trust me. There are days that I'm like, wow, I need to lay off of whatever I'm eating. It happens. However, I will say,
How do you stay consistent? So
Oh,
you're just going off the.
just going off of whatever I'm being asked. That's obviously people are asking. That's what they want to know. So.
Excellent. And I love that you want to be authentic. Being authentic is one of the best things you can do online. You need to show up on social media the way you show up in person. If they see someone different than how you show up on social media, then you're just portraying somebody else, and that's not going to go very well. Yeah.
I feel like I couldn't stay consistent with the team that I hired to do a lot of my posting, which was why I hired them. Being busy in the business. So they get out so many videos and posts per week, so that helps with consistency. And then I fill in the gaps myself with that, with my own personal. If I'm going for a walk, I'll do something, or something came up that day, in a real estate transaction, maybe a walkthrough that didn't go well. I did a post on that not too long ago on how we corrected the problem, with a last minute walkthrough issue to get the closing table. So just stories about like everyday events that's happening to you. You can just use that for content too.
I have a couple different ways I do it. For listing videos, I really will sit down and write them days in advance. And those take a lot of time. The more common thing that I do is I keep a running notes on my phone. Whenever I have an idea, I just will put a voice memo to myself. So I have a notes list in my phone with probably my next 50 videos. And then when I get to the right location or have someone near me to film it, we'll get it done.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I think in our industry, especially right now, there's so much change happening. I think we're going to have plenty of material to talk about because as it evolves, people are asking questions. With the announcement yesterday, I think there's going to be a whole set of questions and possibilities for material. But every transaction has an opportunity. The bad walkthrough or the people love those. They love to see that stuff. The videos that tend to go viral are the ones that you would not expect. You think it's an awful day, but they love the fact that something got really screwed up. So there's always material. I also use AI, again, as I said at the beginning, to maybe stimulate a thought.
Yes, the using AI to help sort of figure out your ideas moving forward. Speaking of AI, how does AI factor into your social media, if at all? I know Malachi, you use it at a small level, but how are you guys using social media? I mean, AI in social media, but.
So Chat is my best friend. I went to family reunion and I went to one of the breakouts and they talked about asking Chat what they want to be named. So mine is Scout. However, I've gone away from that. I use Chat for more like personal, maybe like scripting. And I started using Claude. Claude is an amazing tool. I actually have it synced to, so I manage short-term rentals on top of everything else. And what I have it do is daily summaries. So it goes into my management system, tells me everything that I need to maybe check out, what's a priority, what's something that I should put on the table. But it also does that with my emails too, and it tells me what's important, what my agenda is for the day, and it's been a game changer.
Yes, absolutely. And you use AI to move leads from what you get from social media to your CRM.
Yes, so I use Zapier. Zapier, what it does is anytime a Facebook message comes into my business Facebook page, it automatically creates a lead into Brivity for me. There's some technical things that we're working through on that one, but it is nice that it's there. And I can't remember.
So I use chat basically just to get ideas on content or statistics, like what buyers are looking for or sellers, just to get the most updated information. So basically using it for content ideas and also to write some posts once in a while. I just basically talking my thoughts and it sets up a nice professional post. So I use that as well.
Excellent.
I'm doing quite a few things with AI. I have it write my weekly newsletter, which is really helpful. It also can help put in the articles that, so like one of the things we do is we highlight local restaurants or we highlight local ski mountains or things like that, and it can help me pick what to do. We also use it for, same as you, I use Zapier, and I also recently swapped from ChatGPT to Claude, which is 5 times better than ChatGPT. So I use it for a lot, mostly writing at this point and market research.
I would not be doing any content if it weren't for ChatGPT. The reason it took me 2 years to actually get from the point of saying you need to be on YouTube to actually getting on YouTube was that I discovered that I don't have to write the content. I'm not a writer. I was not good in school. So for me, giving Jerry, that's my ChatGPT's name, giving Jerry an idea and letting Jerry flesh it out. When I started, I let Jerry read all of my customer reviews, going back about 3 years. So when Jerry started to write content for me, he knew who I was. He really knew what my style was. He told me, you're going to These scripts are written as if you were the big brother or dad. And that's how all of my scripts are written, in that format. So I use it for everything. If I can't find images for the B-roll, I will use chat, or I've used others too, Microsoft Copilot and Gemini. There's so many great ones out there. But it's definitely a tool that originally, when we first started talking about it, everyone was scared of, and I couldn't embrace it. I was like, this is gonna be the end of the world, and I can't live without it. So.
Yeah, I love that our panelists have names for their ChatGPT. For those who have attended some of my classes, you know that Carl sometimes makes an appearance for mine. Though I also have been moving a lot more towards Claude. I think Claude is a great way to go for your AI.
How are you going to break up with Carl?
I haven't brought that up. I try not to tell him. A little word. Yeah, frankly.
Can I jump in on
Yes.
Claude? So the most recent thing Claude did for me, which most people are probably going to be blown away by this, it works in the back end of your computer. So what I did, it is me. I'm a solo agent. I do it all. I have a GC who does help me a lot. But what I did was my professional photographer has a website portal that you can go into, and that's every photo and video that he's ever taken. I said, Claude, please move all of the videos and photos into my Google Drive. Create a folder for each address, and then in each address create a folder for the videos, the floor plans, and the photos. And it did that in 30 minutes of 40 plus, I don't know, 40 plus listings.
The leverage and saving time. This is so I would love to hear your process for following up with people who engage with you, with your content, to bring them into the fold. How do you bring them into your CRM from them getting one your content?
I don't really have a plan. They're my sphere, they're my people. They already kind of sit there. So for the most part, I don't really have to do too much, and except for the Zapier, that's the one tool.
I respond to them manually. I do want to get to the point where I can get into my CRM, but when they just private message me, I'm pretty much there speaking to them directly. So I just got to get some tools in place to
So
set
through
up.
DMs, bring them into.
Yeah.
Excellent.
For me, this is, like I said, it's a big part of my business, so I try to be pretty strict with how I handle it. So the first thing I try and do is I try and set appointments. I have a Calendly link in my bio that I direct people to,
Love that.
which sets them up for a Zoom call with me. So once we kind of set up the Zoom call, I put them in my CRM, and I do follow up with them over like Instagram or Facebook, but the tasks are through my CRM. So I have, in my calendar, I have times to follow up with different people that I've spoken with. So I do it manually, putting them into my CRM, but that's what works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have as embedded into the videos kind of call to actions and offers. So most of my stuff comes through DMs or within the comments of the videos. So if they're a seller, if they comment value, I reach out to them and offer them a market evaluation. If they're a buyer, they just put home in the direct message, and I'll send them a buyer's guide, which was created with Jeff.
So I know I hear a lot from agents that they don't necessarily have the time to do a lot of the social media posting, content creation. What leverage do you guys use?
I just do it myself. I mean, it's part of my everyday business. So when I'm, at an appointment or maybe like an open house, I'm filming at an open house. And then usually when I'm laying in bed at night, I'm using CapCut, slicing and putting all the videos together. And Canva is a really awesome tool. But again, the thing with like Claude and ChatGPT is they can now create graphics. And be really careful and make sure you really look them over, because sometimes they're so funky. But for the most part, it's with Claude too, like you can connect your Canva, and so you are able to move things around and change things within the graphic. But for the most part, it's just me, and I do have a TC who acts as a virtual assistant and helps me.
Yes.
So in addition to the social media company that I hired that does the edit, and I basically just do the content. I upload it to a G drive and then take it from there. Do all the edits, posting, and that's for more of the professional edited content. Then I do, you know, this personal stuff myself that I keep up with usually every other day. But you gotta treat it important, you know, like any other type of marketing. If you're gonna build if you're gonna spend 2 hours of content for a week, if that's what you need from time, you need to book it in your calendar. It has to become as important as a listing appointment. You wouldn't cancel a listing appointment. You shouldn't be canceling any type of marketing appointment that you make with yourself based on what you do for marketing. You're just gonna stick to it. It's gonna be a non-negotiable.
So it's on your calendar.
So it's just like an appointment, just like a listing appointment.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I do a couple things. So my virtual assistant posts under contracts, just listeds, things like that, to Facebook as well as Instagram. I also have like I said, a professional company that films my listing videos. So I have some leverage between a professional videographer. They also will do some of my shorts, depending on what ideas I have, shorts or reels or things like that. And then I film a portion of things myself. I think that, from my experience, buyers like to see kind of like a wide variety of content from you. So some film ourselves, some I create and post, and then some I hire a professional for.
Excellent. Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in know your strengths, and editing is not my strength. So I reached out to an editor. I use Fiverr. Some people love Fiverr, some people don't. But I have an editor in Pakistan who has done almost all of my videos. I have to say that initially you have to really be on top of them. I did some videos and some material in Newport, Rhode Island, and when the material came back, it was Newport Beach, California. There's not a lot of palm trees in Newport, Rhode Island. So you do have to kind of educate them, but now almost every video that I get back is right on. He's figured it out. He's figured out where Rhode Island is. And he does a great job.
I know it's small, but it is on the map.
It is on the map. And it's not part of New York.
True.
He finally grasped it, and it's fairly reasonable. He gives me good material. I give him 2 videos and 4 shorts a week, and he does a great job. So I definitely leverage. I don't have time to spend it with CapCut or any of those programs. Hand it off to someone who knows what they're doing.
That's okay. Awesome. All right. Okay.
I just wanted to add to that as far as something I discovered by accident on how to get the best rate of return on your time with social media content is me and my daughter were invited for a local cable station on doing real estate in our town. So we spent a 40-minute, interview with the local station, and they took that video and gave it to us, and then we sent it to our editors. I think they had like 26 reels out of it. So for a 40-minute commitment, I got 26 reels over time. Whereas before that, when I was doing my reels, it might take me 3 hours to kind of get ready, edit it, do it over and over again, what have you. It would take so much longer just to do, 3 or 4 reels versus doing a 40-minute video.
Breaking one long video in 2 minutes.
Yeah, so definitely.
Excellent.
Get a lot more off your time.
Awesome. All right, so to bring it home, because we're almost out of time here, I want if someone in this room were to commit to making social media a part of their business, starting tomorrow, what is the one piece of advice you would all give them?
I would just say, just do it. Don't worry about what other people are going to say. One thing that Gary Vee said to us at family reunion was, you're going to get the nasty and negative comments regardless of what you do. For whatever reason, real estate agents are so hated on the internet. And so I just had it happen. And the response to the hate was respectfully, you are not my audience. And that was my biggest takeaway from family reunion. Just don't even let them bother you.
Once again, it's just treating it one, building your business for the future. It's nothing that's gonna probably happen overnight like any marketing, but stay consistent with it. It will pay off. It probably took 8 to 10 months before I started to see the result. But like anything you start to do, it's gonna take time. Just stay with it.
Consistency is very key, for sure.
For me, I would say you don't need to try to be an influencer. You don't need to try and become famous. I think social media is the new database. That's how I've treated it. and that's how I've had the most success. So if I could tell anyone something, it'd be, you don't need to try and go viral, you don't need to be famous. Just work it, have conversations, treat it like what it is, which is a social media.
Yeah, that's all very, well, every single one of those is what I would say as well. But be consistent is the key. I think social media is a long game. It's not something that you do once or twice and you're going to get results. It may not happen right away, but the more consistent you are, the more times the algorithm starts to push you out there, the more opportunities you'll have for people to see it and get back. The other point that Malachi made was don't expect to go viral. It doesn't matter if you go viral. You're working in a small area, you're working in a small neighborhood or a town, wherever you are. Those are the people that you want to see your material. So you don't have to have 50,000 views. That's kind of fun, but it's not necessary.
I love it.
And just do it. I mean, don't wait 2 years like I did. Use the tools that are out there. AI has developed enough now that you can just ask it very simple questions. It'll give you great material, and just do it. Get out there and do it.
Love that. Thank you very much, all of you. You were excellent. Wonderful.